Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. I was thinking about the Saints today and thinking about an angle and started thinking about guys that need to step it up a little bit. And inevitably, when you've got a team that either achieves what the expectation is or overachieves according to preseason expectations, which don't mean a lot, but it's what we're here for, you've got to have guys elevate their level of play. I already know for the Saints to be good, Derek Carr's got to be good. I already know for the Saints to be good, Demario Davis is going to have to play great football. So is Marshawn Lattimore. So is Chris Olave. I already know that. They're proven commodities on the team. And quite honestly, I don't expect Cam Jordan or Demario Davis to elevate their level of play significantly from what we've seen. I don't think Tyrann Mathieu is going to be a different dude this year. There are some guys on this team, though, that have potential greater than what their production has been in their time in the NFL, for one reason or another. And I think for the Saints to reach the expectation, which for most people, not even around here, just most people in the league, would be to win the division. And for them to exceed that, which would be win a playoff game, two playoff games, win the conference, compete for a Super Bowl, if they're going to do something like that, then they're going to have some guys on a lower level elevate themselves to either a solid starter or a Pro Bowl level player, depending on that player. And I came up with 4 of them. 4 guys who have got to be better than what they've been. I'll start with Peyton Turner. You know that. You know his story. High draft pick, can't stay healthy. 5 games in 2021, 8 games in 2022. He has not started a football game yet. In his career, he's made 28 tackles, 3 sacks, 6 hurries. He's been pretty non-existent. We heard last year in camp, he's flashing this and that. He's picking guys up and body slamming them. The physical gifts are very obvious. The production is also very obvious, and it's almost none. He's 25 years old, and he needs to become a starter on this team and a productive one. His upside is better than Granderson's. Granderson has become a nice player on the team. He's got 8.5 sacks over the last 2 years. Peyton Turner could have that in a year with those gifts if he could play 15 games. That's not even the whole year. And I'm not betting on Peyton Turner to become a 10-sack guy. I'm just saying if the Saints are going to exceed expectation and win a playoff game or two, they're going to need some of that. Peyton Turner's the first guy. The second guy is Trevor Penning. You know Trevor Penning's story too. He hasn't been healthy. Played in 6 games last year once he was activated after the foot injury sidelined him early in camp. Started the finale against Carolina. If the Saints are going to be as good as they can be, that does not involve Hurst playing left tackle. He can. He can do it. He did last year. The Saints are better if the 6'7" monster, who's 8 years younger than Hurst, is the left tackle, and Hurst is there as a swing man who can fill in for an injury or might beat Andrus Peat out at guard. It can work with Hurst at left tackle, but it's better in terms of the ceiling if Trevor Penning takes that spot. And we just don't know. He didn't get to play enough in camp last year and in preseason, obviously, and he didn't get enough real reps last year. I'm sorry, that Week 18 game against Carolina, not exactly a wild card playoff game. You're the team that was going to get the first pick in the draft by trade and a team that grossly underachieved and missed the playoffs. So let's see what it looks like in camp, and let's see if he can elevate himself. And I'm not asking him to be the all-pro left tackle. I'm asking him to become a really productive starter to allow another asset on the team, Hurst, to fill a different role. That's number 2. Number 3 is not one of the younger players. Not by a long shot. But Will Lutz better get better. Because there is competition in camp now, and what he was last year is not good enough. This is a guy in 2017, 18, and 19 was 43 of 44 from under 50 yards. 43 of 44. He missed once in 3 years from under 50. And he was 10 of 13 from 50 plus. He was the answer to Sean Payton's nightmare that was the kicking situation. How many could he cut in a month? 5? And finally they found Lutz, and he was cash. Last year, he missed 2 under 40. Can't do that in the NFL. You can't be missing 37 yarders in the NFL. Last year, he was 4 of 8 between 40 and 50. That's 50%. That ain't going to get it. Now, the good sign is that Lutz was 4 of 6 from 50 plus. So it's not like he's lost a leg. It's not like he can't do it. There's something in there that still functions, but the consistency wasn't there. And kicking can be a mental nightmare. It's like me on the golf course. Hook one left into the water, re-tee it, push, block it out of bounds. Overcorrecting left and right, can't get the swing dialed in. Now you're thinking about it. It's not good. And I don't know how Lutz's mental state is. I know that he was hurt and missed a full season, and you got to come back from that. And we know the story. But what he was last year is not good enough, and Blake Group is there. Now, I think for the Saints to be as good as they're going to be, you need Lutz to regain the form of 3 years ago and not the kid from Notre Dame to come in and take his job. Will Lutz got to be better. That's number 3. So we've gone through Peyton Turner. We've gone through Trevor Penning. We've gone through Will Lutz. And the last one, I would take an argument against that there are some other players that could support in this role. But the one that I've identified, because I think the ceiling might be a little bit higher, is Alontae Taylor. In my opinion, Alontae Taylor has a better chance to become a Pro Bowl defensive back than Paulson Adebo. That's my opinion. Now, Paulson Adebo has had some great moments in camp, in practice, in preseason, and in real games. And Adebo's a 3rd-round pick, and Taylor's a 2nd-round pick, and their measurables are similar. I like Taylor's speed. But you could convince me that the Saints would be okay with Lattimore on one corner and Adebo beating out Alontae Taylor in one corner, and Alontae Taylor being more of a nickel guy with Bradley Roby checking in there. And you could make the argument to me that that would work and that would be great. I personally am going to lean towards the guy who was played his rookie year last year, played 13 games, 9 starts, had 11 pass defenses, but didn't have an interception. He could elevate his game and really give the Saints something in the secondary, which, quite frankly, is where most of these playoff games are going to be decided, on the perimeter in the passing game. Now, this is not the AFC where you're going to have to deal with Mahomes, and you got to deal with Burrow, and you got to deal with Allen, and they're just going nuts on you. Yeah, Hurts had a good year last year, and that's fine. But who else in the NFC is just striking absolute fear in you? Now, if you're the Saints, you want to feast on some of these inferior quarterbacks. Lattimore helps you with that. Who's next? I would love it to be Alontae Taylor. I think if he steps his game up and reaches potential Pro Bowl levels, and you can put those two guys out there with Adebo and Roby and May and Matthew, that is a pretty salty secondary. And I think there's real potential in that. I'm skeptical of Peyton Turner, as anyone should be. I'm skeptical of Trevor Penning at this point. Maybe unfair, and maybe skeptical is the wrong word, just unsure. Because we just haven't seen enough from the Northern Iowa product. I'm a little skeptical of Lutz because You worry about the last 2 years not being as good. I feel much better about Taylor than any of those three. But I think if the Saints are going to elevate, you need some of the guys lower on the ladder to elevate. You know what Cam Jordan is. You hope he stays there. You know what DeMario Davis is. You hope he stays there. You know what Tyrann Mathieu. You hope he stays there. Kamara. Olave. You even know what Jamal Williams is. You got a good feel for Foster Moreau, Juwan Johnson. And I'm not ready to heap all this expectation on Foskey and Brzee up front. I'm not ready to tell you that Michael Thomas needs to come back and be a Pro Bowler. I would rather some young guys on this team step up. And that's where I think the Saints can go from, 9-8, win the bad division, get bounced in the first round. They'll play San Francisco and they'll get beat. They can't beat Philly. If you're going to be a threat in a watered-down conference, somebody's got to elevate. And I think there's a chance that those guys could do it. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.